stinking lambent. Jeez Louise, what the fuck?
Hey, check fire! We're on your side!
Good thing I wear a helmet.
A proud family line with a long military history going back generations. Several family-owned businesses on the side, from life insurance to the manufacturing of industrial power tools. Anthony, the history geek, Benjamin, the hero, and Clayton, the grub killer. Welcome once more, ladies and animals, as we delve again into the characters of Gears of War, as today, we cover the Carmine brothers. We're not doing the whole family today, as Gary, Elizabeth, William, and the others will have to wait for their own separate family, along with the aforementioned family businesses that the Carmines are known for. Today, we're just getting into the main three brothers. So with that, please leave a like and subscribe if you like this and want even more. The Carmines have had a long history of military service in their family, and there's not been a single member of the family who has turned down service.
Even Ben could have handled you!
It was an expectation of their blood, not because they felt some sense of duty, loyalty, or honor for the cog, but because they loved to get in there and blow things up, at least for the most part. And this love for action is very obvious in the brothers.
Man, you are all fucked up! Carmines was born for this! That's what you get, you turd!
We currently know of 7 Carmines total. The main generation of brothers in Clayton, Anthony, Benjamin, and an unnamed 4th brother, a cousin of theirs named Frito who supposedly lived in Halvo Bay as a war reporter and interviewed Colonel Loomis shortly before his death near the beginning of the Locust War. Take this one with a grain of salt because it kind of comes from a tweet. A younger generation in Clayton's niece, Lizzie, and another whose relationship is unknown to us, Gary Carmine, along with an older uncle, William Carmine. We can assume the parents of the main brothers were alive roughly around 15 years after emergence, based on Benjamin trying to send a message to his pa and ma.
Tell my brothers and my ma. Tell them I love them.
But their presence has never been confirmed. For today, Clayton Carmine is the eldest. Anthony and the unnamed brother are in the middle, with Benjamin being the youngest of the main Carmine family. So from oldest to youngest, let's go through it. The Grub Killer. Clayton Carmine is the eldest of the brothers by an unknown amount of time. We know he was old enough to have been established in the cog by the time Operation Hollowstorm was in motion around 15 years after emergence, the same time Benjamin was barely coming out of boot camp. Likely, there's a gap no more than 10 years between Clayton and his brothers, with Ben at the bottom. From birth, Clayton always thought himself a gear, and with Emergence Day shaking the world, the oldest brother couldn't wait to enlist. He quickly earned the reputation as the Grub Killer, being especially brutal against the Locust Horde that they faced. For one reason or another, Clayton's hatred of the Locust was personal and deep-seated, not unlike that of Dominic Santiago. 14 years after emergence, during the Light Mass Offensive, both Clayton and Benjamin learned of Anthony's death. The brothers were in grief but believed that their lost sibling was a hero, giving his life for humanity. Just 1 year later, Clayton and Benjamin both served as a part of Operation Hollowstorm. While Benjamin served as a part of Delta Squad with Sergeant Marcus Phoenix, Clayton operated as a member of the 7th Mangler, coming down into the Nexus with the second wave of Gears alongside Samantha Byrne. After Jacinto was flooded and destroyed, most of the cog, including Clayton, fled to Port Farrell, a cog naval base. It was here that he was found by Sergeant Phoenix and given Benjamin's tags, along with a letter that was written by the young cadet to his family.
I hope you're doing well out there, Clay. Not sure where you are, but I trust that the cog will get this letter to you safely. I know that you'll be excited for me, but it'd be great to hear from you before I ship out. I just wish Anthony was still here, bro. I really miss him. I take comfort knowing he died a hero, but still, I miss him, as I'm sure you do too. Well, you know I'm not that good at letters, so I'll keep this short. Hope you're doing well, big brother, and know that I'll be doing my very best to serve our country and make you and our family proud. Your little brother, aka the Squirt, Ben.
A year or so later, Clayton served alongside Delta Squad, a new hatred of the Locust reignited in him, the older brother getting a tattoo in memorial for his 2 deceased brothers. During the invasion of Zura, Clayton was there, helping defeat Mira and work to support Gears until the very end of the war. After the Locust were defeated, Clayton was promoted to Chief Sergeant and began training a new generation of Gears for a reorganized COG, unlike many of his old squad mates who had chosen to retire from military service. Clayton was then promoted to Chief of Security for Settlement 2 after riots broke out, quelled by then-Lieutenant James Dominic Phoenix. Clayton held this position until Settlement 2 was destroyed during a raid by the Locust Swarm. During this battle, he had lost another family member, Lizzie Carmine, daughter to his unnamed brother, who had admired Clayton for his intense military prowess. He was also admired, nearly obsessively so, by Gary Carmine, whose relationship to the family is still unknown, but unlike the rest of the family who feverishly jumped to the opportunity to be in service to the COG, Gary had defected, making him a type of black sheep around the family. We don't know anything, and I mean practically nothing, about the 4th Carmine brother. But the first 3 were in alphabetical order, leading many to speculate that his name must begin with the letter D. Douglas, maybe? We do know that he is younger than Clayton and older than Anthony, and must have survived the Locust Wars in order to have a daughter we now know as Lizzie Carmine. But outside of that, he's a total mystery to us.
Oh, great!
Anthony is the 3rd oldest brother to the family. He's a history buff and a dedicated soldier, personally picked by Min Young Kim to serve on Delta Squad for his loyalty and honor to the COG. After Emergence Day, Anthony would grow a severe fear of Locust E-holes, always having nightmares about the inhuman beasts rising from below and taking him out. A few years after E-Day, Anthony finally joined the COG. While in boot camp, he was voted most likely to get shot. Jesus. For his lack of form and ability to perform while under pressure. Something you can actually see on Anthony's cadet uniform. Yeah, that's a crosshair that his fellow Gears slapped onto his armor. Kinda cruel, but it is what it is. But Anthony would not be stopped in the face of adversity. Instead, he'd look back at the heroes of the Coalition and try to model himself after them. One of these legends he tried to base himself off of, Marcus Phoenix, was a massive source of inspiration for the young Gear, one of the main reasons he was so excited to meet the legendary Phoenix in person during the Light Mass Offensive.
Hey, are you the Marcus Phoenix? The one who fought at Asfield Fields?
Yep.
Wow, cool!
Not really.
Unfortunately, as he was told all those years ago in boot camp, Anthony's poor form made him an easy pick for Locust snipers who were on the hunt for Delta Squad. Anthony would become the first Carmine brother claimed by the war in 14 AE, something even made fun of by his eventual niece.
Oh, I think I lost an uncle this way.
Benjamin was a lot of things. He was full of life, he was feisty, he was fresh off the lawn, he was a devoted Gear, and most of all, he was a little brother trying to live up to the boots of his older siblings. The same year that his brother Anthony died, Benjamin finally turned 18 and joined into the COG. He was known for a love of fire and getting into strange conversations with other Gears. Just out of boot camp, Benjamin was assigned to Delta Squad with Marcus Phoenix and Dominic Santiago. Outside the Jacinto Medical Center, the young Gear was given a short lesson from the sergeant on the basics before they fended off a Locust attack and then set off for Operation Hollow Store.
Whoa! All this damage came from your grenade?
Sure as hell didn't come from yours.
Before they drilled down, Benjamin's partner was Ty Caliso, who, as we talked about before, jumped out from the grind lift and left Ben on his own until he regrouped with Delta down in the hollow. Just a few hours later, when Delta is swallowed by the Rift Worm, a massive subterranean worm that the Locust were using to sink cities, he is eaten alive by creatures within the worm. His tags are collected by Marcus, who would later deliver them to Clayton. In the oldest piece of Gears of War trivia out there, the Carmine family name is given to them for the color of the same name, carmine, a shade of red, making them red shirts. If you don't know, red shirt is a term in writing that goes back to at least Star Trek, where the characters in the original show that wore a red shirt would be almost guaranteed to die. So right from the get-go, the Carmine family curse was set up against them. Clayton is the only member to not have died yet, as his life was saved in a vote made by players before the launch of Gears of War 3, which is why they tease his death so many times throughout the game. I love the Carmines, as everyone else who's played these games likely does. They're a great example of Saren culture, families with long histories of military service, and valiant gears without any plot armor who die on the field rather than being heroic saviors like Marcus or the rest of Delta. The lost souls and fallen men and women who gave their lives for the cause. And with that, this marks the end of the video. Let me know what you thought, which Carmine is your favorite, and if you'd like to see a mini episode on the other members in the family. But for now, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you've liked this and want even more. As always, our Colorful World merch is still up. This is all for charity, so each and every shirt, jacket, or sticker is going to be donated to my local food bank. So if you'd like to help me support a good cause, get your wonderfully soft shirt down below. As always, stay cool, have fun, and be awesome. Buster out!
Man, that was nasty.